AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. We are live from the Zurich Classic here at 17, the walk-ons tent, and fired up to be back. It's where we are, the Friday of Zurich, the Friday of the NFL draft every year, and LSU State. They're about to have first pitch of game one. We got the Zurich round 2 going on right now. Round 2 of the NFL draft set in about 3 hours from right now. We have a ton to do. So let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
But would they trade up? Would they stay put? What position would it be? We didn't have to wait very long as it was a swift-moving first round, but it sounded like this when the Saints were on the clock at number 8.
With the 8th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Jordyn Tyson, wide receiver, Arizona State.
So the betting favorite to be the Saints pick at 8 was the Saints pick at 8. It is, in fact, Jordyn Tyson. And it was fascinating to watch how that top 10 started to materialize, where the Cardinals at 3, of course, it was a 50-50 proposition seemingly with the edge rushers at 2, with Bailey and with Reese. But when the Cardinals stuck at 3 and chose Jeremiah Love, you know I was over the moon. It means the Saints were not being aggressive to go up and get a running back. The Titans at 4 taking Carnell Tate was a bit of a surprise. Many thought they would go defense. They got an offensive weapon to complement their first-round pick of a year ago. Obviously, their starting quarterback, Cam Ward, which meant for New Orleans, you were going to be eyeing either, very likely, Mansour Delane or Jordyn Tyson. Well, Kansas City took that option off the table for New Orleans, trading up to number 6, where they took Mansour Delane. So for the Saints, it was go with the most dynamic receiver available in the draft or find the best defensive player available. That was either going to be Reuben Bain from Miami, or Caleb Downs. And I think what the Saints did was the right call. But this is all about risk reward. Like, ask yourself this question. This is true in everything in life. If you invest in your 401k, or you have your mutual funds or whatever, like whatever your retirement is, do you and there's that sliding scale of, well, how risk averse are you? How risky do you want to be? Like, we all fall on a different part of that chart. Mickey Loomis, when it comes to being an NFL general manager, is more risk tolerant than many. I mean, you can look at teams that very much, Howie Roseman with the Eagles is a brilliant GM, and generally it feels like fleeces people because he does the conservative thing and gets value and gets picks and all that sort of stuff. Mickey Loomis is far more aggressive, and that suits some people's sensibilities, and it doesn't suit others' sensibilities. I mean, we gave you this number a day ago. Since he's been the general manager, the Saints have traded 38 times under Loomis, 38 trades. They've traded back 4. 34 times they've gone up. So this is a risk-reward question with Jordyn Tyson. The risk is very real, and we've all talked about it. This is a guy who had ACL, MCL, PCL surgery in 2022. He's had a broken collarbone. Last year, he struggled with not 1 but 2 hamstring injuries. He's a guy who when he's on the field, is awesome. The problem is he hasn't always been able to be on the field. Started his career at Colorado in 2022, had the knee injury, missed the entire 2023 season, popped up at Arizona State in 2024 with Sam Leavitt. That was their playoff team, and he went off. 75 catches, 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns. He's a big play waiting to happen. Athletically, you're talking about a dude at 6'2", 200 pounds who could fly, leaping ability, all of it. At his best, right, as we talk about risk-reward, if you're looking at what the reward is, the top end, you're talking about a guy that plays the position a lot like Jamar Chase. I'm not saying he's Jamar Chase. Don't go swerve off the road. What I'm saying is this is the caliber of athlete at that position that you drafted. Now, is he going to live up to that and be a true legit number? We'll see. But the risk is you have an injury-prone dude that can't stay on the field. And is it worth the 8th overall pick for a guy that's injury-prone? And so that is the question around that. The question isn't is Jordyn Tyson worthy as a receiver? Is he worthy of the 8th pick? He is. The question is, can he stay healthy, and is it worth the risk because of that? And Kellen Moore, in the post-draft press conference, was asked what made them comfortable with the injury history to take Tyson 8th overall.
I think, obviously guys are going to go through things that they have to navigate. And, for credit to him, he had to navigate a knee, clavicle, the hamstring stuff that he had this year. And he battled through it. And I think that's credit to him, is his willingness to battle. I mean, he hurts his hamstring in this, Texas Tech game, and he makes the plays to basically win the game at the end of the game. And so this guy's a really tough football player. He's battled some things, and I think all that's positive. And, he worked out through this whole process, kind of recovered, and he's in a great place.
I hate that answer, by the way, because he didn't say the thing that you wanted to hear. Because the thing that you and I wanted to hear were from Kellen Moore about Tyson is we went through the evaluation, understanding his injury history. We did the medical evaluation. We were comfortable with where he is. Like, that's what you wanted to hear. That's not what he told you there. So that he told you about how it's a good thing to go through adversity. Yeah, adversity is a great thing, but adversity doesn't fix your knee. So, again, I love the player. If you have questions about this because of the injury history, you are right to do that. Now, specifically from let's look at high-end production possibility here. Look at what your receiver room looks like. Jordyn Tyson could be a legit, true number one superstar game-breaking wide receiver, which this franchise has never had. You've had good receivers. You've had talented receivers. You've had productive receivers. You've never had someone that you could say is someone who a team game plans for that guy. Tyson could be that, so I love it. That also frees up Chris Olave more. You've heard me say this for years. Chris Olave is not a number one. I think he is a very, very good number two. He had a 1,000-yard season this year, and he did so because he was 4th in the NFL in targets. They threw the ball at him all the time because you had nobody else to throw the ball to, and so a season where he played in 17 games, you saw productivity there from Chris Olave. He's a good receiver. He's a productive receiver. He's a starting receiver. He's a 1,000-yard receiver. There's a lot of good about Olave. He ain't Jordyn Tyson, who's 6'2", 200 pounds, can fly and can jump. And when you look at the Saints, after Olave last year, your second leading pass catcher was a tight end in Juwan Johnson. Next is Rashid Shaheed, who only played 9 games for you a year ago before you traded him. He was your third leading pass catcher. Fourth was Devon Vele, who had 25 catches on the season, and then Alvin Kamara, and then Brandon Cooks, who you also cut. So the point is, you had a whole lot of Kevin Austin and Dante Pettis and Mason Tipton by the end of that season. You now, as you sort of project forward, you can go Jordyn Tyson, Chris Olave, and then Devon Vele, and maybe Jalen Polk, who is a number one receiver. We'll see if he's healthy. And then your tight end room, you have dynamic weapons and depth around your rookie quarterback or your second-year quarterback now in Tyler Shuck. And when you look at the top offenses in the NFL, the number one offense in the NFL last year was the Rams. Well, they got Puka Nacua. The number 2 offense in the NFL last year was the Dallas Cowboys. George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, elite-level receivers. You have to have game breakers in this NFL. So I love the pick. I love the player. I have the same questions and concerns that all of you do about the injuries. If the injury question is mitigated and Jordyn Tyson is healthy and plays in 17 games at his max ability, you got probably the best receiver in the draft, and we're all going to celebrate this for a long time. And I love the fact that the Saints decided to stay put. Now, going into day 2 and day 3 of the draft, there's a lot of other questions that we'll discuss that they got to address. But I love the player. We'll see in time if the pick makes sense because of the injury questions. All right, it's After Further Review. We're here at the Zurich Classic today on 17 Green at the Walk-Ons tent. Such a beautiful day here in Avondale. Man, get down to the Zurich this weekend. If you've never been. Yeah, even if you don't love golf, doesn't matter. If you love golf, great. If you don't, this is a party. I got Go DJ over here. I got Derek Panamsky right there. I got celebrities everywhere, like Derek Panamsky right there, just staring at me, eating a cookie. Y'all come hang out, man, at Zurich anytime this weekend. All right, it's After Further Review. Our show, but every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with a great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of your Fighting Tigers of LSU. Got my Bud Light Saints shirt on here as we rep Bud Light and the Who Dat Nation down in Avondale today at the Zurich Classic. If you're at Zurich, if you're watching the draft, of course, you notice the official beer of the draft is Bud Light. You see it on the stage everywhere. Drink easy with a great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. Okay, we got a ton we're going to get to today. LSU and Mississippi State, they're underway in Starkville. Case and Evans scratched. Gavin Guidry starting. We'll keep you posted on the game as it moves throughout. Let me knock out a break. We'll come back. We're heading to the desert next to get a perspective of someone who covers Arizona State on Jordyn Tyson and all the questions that we have. So you'll hear it from someone who knows Tyson well. We'll do that next here on AFR.
AFR.
Today's show is brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time, or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or onehourbr.com. Spell it out, O-N-E, onehourbr.com. 83 degrees right now, sunny and beautiful, but 83 when the humidity hits, you start getting into the 90s. Then we start getting into the triple-digit temps. You better make sure that your AC is ready to roll for the coming warm weather months. River City's 1 Hour Air can help. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001. Call, get your preseason AC tune-up if you haven't done it yet. 752-0001, 752-0001. They'll come by the house, get that thing in tip-top shape. Make sure your AC is running efficiently for the coming warm weather months. Mention the Moscona special. They'll save you $30. It's River City's 1 Hour Air.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona. Presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Yeah, it feels great. Shoot, I never stopped working, so I was cool with it. I never stopped working out, never got out of shape, never had to restart my soreness process, never had to get my feet calloused back up. So, shoot, I'm ready to hit the ground running right now.
Jordyn Tyson meeting with reporters after becoming the 8th pick of the 2026 NFL Draft for the New Orleans Saints. Guy who covered him during his time there in Tempe is Damon Allred from ArizonaSports.com. He's on Twitter at I am Damon Allred if you want to give him a follow. Hey, Damon, we appreciate the time. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys? Obviously, a big time with Jordyn Tyson coming on and joining the fold.
Yeah, I think the consensus here is everyone sees the tantalizing ability, but everybody's also worried about the injuries. So make us feel better about the injuries.
Well, so I think that the thing you should feel best about is just how fluky some of the most recent ones felt. Obviously, there were the knee issues that happened at Colorado mostly before he got to ASU. But then by the time he was at ASU, he was pretty healthy, had the broken collarbone at the end of the 2024 season that kept him out of that postseason. He would have played in the college football playoff semifinal, we just learned throughout the last week or two from Hines Ward. So it wasn't a situation where that had totally sidelined him. Like it was just going to be backbreaking for ASU. He would have been able to come back if they had pulled out that Peach Bowl against Texas. And then this past season, the nagging hamstring injury that pops up against Texas Tech on a route away from the play. So it wasn't even like a situation where, he's putting a ton of stress on the body. It's just a fluky strain on a decoy route. Finishes the game, and has that heroic game-winning drive with a 33-yard pickup on fourth down among the plays. He was really impressive throughout what he did at ASU when he was on the field, borderline unstoppable when he was available. But like you mentioned, those injuries just came at inopportune times for the team.
So let's talk about that borderline unstoppable. If I said, all right, you're rating Jordyn Tyson's traits that made him borderline unstoppable, where are you starting?
For me, it starts with the route running. He's just a very sudden guy when he gets in and out of his breaks. You saw that in the tape that kind of surfaced from that private workout he held with teams, where he is just going one way and then going another direction in a flash. And it's something that defenses really can't account for unless they're bracketing him. And obviously on a team like New Orleans, you can't bracket a guy like every single play when there's Chris Olave on the other side. Obviously some weapons in the backfield as well. So I think that he'll be able to weaponize that pretty well. Another thing that stands out to me is just his catch point ability. He has some really good hang time. That was another thing that we saw in the clips that surfaced. But then he had a go-ahead touchdown against Baylor this season where he really showed off that hang time, hung in the air and made a grab, and he's just very impressive physically. And I think that that's kind of to be expected just given what his DNA is. He's obviously got a brother who's playing pretty consistent minutes for the Cleveland Cavaliers and Jordyn Tyson. And so I think that everything physically is working for him in a way where he was able to put that all together under Hines Ward and bring that pro aspect all together.
Yeah, you mentioned Hines Ward there. I'm curious how Jordyn, you felt, takes to coaching, sort of the locker room guy component of it with Jordyn Tyson. What can you tell us?
Yeah, so it's pretty easy for people to get ahead of themselves when talking about a wide receiver one. They've obviously got a bit of a reputation for being divas at times. Jordyn was not that at all under Hines Ward. He'll tell you first and foremost that the biggest thing that Hines helped him with is just building up pro habits, and he's obviously become disciplined enough to where he can reach the NFL at a top 10 level. I think that personally for me, while he will mention the pro habits first and foremost with Hines, is what stood out to me is his run blocking ability. Hines Ward was obviously a very good run blocker when he was in the NFL. And he has made that the standard in the ASU receivers room. You have to run, or you have to be able to block for the run game, or you're not going to get targets. And obviously Jordyn was able to block pretty well because then he comes out and gets 70, 80% of the targets when he was healthy.
Damon Allred is with us, ArizonaSports.com at I am Damon Allred if you want to give him a follow. Damon, look, you're the 8th pick in the draft. You're obviously a really talented guy. It's why anybody's going to be a top 10 pick in the draft. What would you say, though, that maybe Jordyn Tyson needs to improve on at the next level?
So there were some drop issues previously in his career. Last year in 2024, he had 7 drops. Brought that down to 1 in 2025. So that's obviously a big improvement. You want to make sure that that's sustainable, that he's still doing everything that he needs to prepare to make catches and things like that, just putting himself in a good position. The other thing that stands out to me is just a lot of NFL experts didn't love his play against press defense. I think that he was able to work pretty well against press defense, especially in the red zone. It felt like anytime he had a one-on-one in the red zone, he was going to win that one-on-one. But I understand in more open field situations, he's maybe struggling a little bit against that physicality when defenses bring it to him. But again, when you have an offense that's coming together the way New Orleans is with multiple receivers that can hurt you, multiple running backs that can hurt you, it makes it harder for defenses to sell out to stop a guy like Jordyn.
One more thing for you, Damon. If I asked you had to look into your crystal ball and you had to project how you think Jordyn Tyson's career in New Orleans may go, like what type of pro do you think we're going to see?
Yeah, as long as he can keep the health in check, I think that he's a bona fide all-pro level receiver. I think that the comps that make the most sense for him are the guys like Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, rather than the role-playing receivers. I think that if he's in the NFL for more than 5 years, it's much more likely that he's a top option rather than someone that's just settling into an offense.
He is Damon Allred. ArizonaSports.com, at I am Damon Allred on Twitter if you want to give him a follow. We appreciate it, man. Thanks so much for the time.
Thank you for having me. Always appreciate it.
Yep, it's our pleasure. So after further review, we're brought to you by Supper Club, SupperClubBTR.com. SupperClubBTR.com is where you can get your reservation. Hey, look, it's a Friday night. If you're hanging out in Baton Rouge, you're going to be there this weekend. Get by Supper Club. I've been telling you, and I'm going to keep hammering this message because it's a very rare opportunity to go try authentic Japanese Kobe beef. You've probably heard of it. Most people probably never had it. You might be intrigued, but there ain't nowhere else you're going to get it in town, and it's not something that's a regular menu item. It's like when you can get it, you get it. And this is, I think, the second time since Supper Club has been open that they've actually gotten these slabs of true, authentic Japanese Kobe beef. About 15 pounds, 20 pounds worth of beef. As I was talking to Chef Layton a week ago, he expected it would last a week and a half, 2 weeks tops. So it's been there for a week already. My point is, if you want to try true, authentic Japanese Kobe beef, you can do it at Supper Club in Baton Rouge. Get by. Even if you don't have a reservation, remember, open seating at the bar. They got 14 bar stools, 7 bar tables, always first come, first served at the bar, or you can always get your reservation at SupperClubBTR.com, SupperClubBTR.com. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review, and we're glad to have you hanging out with us here on this Friday edition of AFR. Presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar there in Town Center. Game 1 between LSU and Mississippi State is underway. Kason Evans was the scheduled starter just minutes before first pitch. LSU announced he was scratched. Gavin Guidry got the ball instead for LSU to start the game. And the Tigers, an early 3-0 lead on Mississippi State. So the Tigers put up a 3 spot in the first, which, listen, if you are going... You're going into this very unenviable situation where you're facing a true legitimate ace in Valenkis from Mississippi State, who I believe is the best pitcher in the SEC right now. And you had an opportunity to give Gavin Guidry a lead with which to work. My goodness, what a way to start. So Stanfield reached on an error. Curiel doubled. Cerna, RBI single. Aaron Beatty struck out. Milam, an RBI single. And then Braun, an RBI ground out. So, and then Pearson struck out to end the inning. But the Tigers manufacture a 3 spot in the first. So a great start for LSU against Tomas Valenkis, who's, as you mentioned, I'm probably the front runner to be the SEC Pitcher of the Year. So we'll see if the Tigers can hang on. We'll keep you posted as that continues moving along. All right, it is After Further Review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here on a Friday edition of AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. We're at the Zurich Classic on the 17th green, the par 3. Awesome spot to watch this golf tournament as they come through. The golfers walk just to our right to the 18 tee box. So great spot, great opportunity to get by this weekend of the Zurich Classic here. Just even if you just buy some GA tickets to come walk the grounds, even if you're not into golf, if you love the golf, there's plenty of golf. If you love to party, this is a great party here at the Zurich Classic, so come on down. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk to some representatives from Zurich. We will talk, we'll go around the SEC. We got to get to Mansour Delane and going 6th overall, previewing day 2 of the draft. Just a ton to do, and glad you're with us. It's AFR.
AFR.
All right, weekend is upon us, and when the weather is nice, typically we find our way out into our yards. So if you're going to be getting into the yard, the lawn, the garden this weekend, get by Clegg's Nursery, any of their 4 locations. You know where they are: Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. So I tell you all the time to buy local and shop local. Look, they have full greenhouses, and I always encourage you to go check out their Facebook page, their social media, because they do a great job whenever they get new shipments in at Clegg's. They post them on social media, so you'll always be up to speed with what they have in their greenhouses. Maybe you want any of the dozens of different roses that they have, the Peggy Martin roses, the knockout roses. Maybe it's any of these beautiful spring, summer flowers and plants and trees and shrubs. It's a great time to get on by Clegg's, and they have everything you need to keep the pests away as well. So buy local, shop local, and tell them Matt sent you to Clegg's Nursery.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Glad to have you back with us here at Zurich Classic. We're at 17 green. Beautiful spot. Some golfers walking through right now. Molinari and Knox, Silverman and Champ walking this way. Molinari and Knox, not a bad day. They're 7 under par. And not a bad day to chat with our buddy John Diaz from Zurich International. Amazing partners here at the Zurich Classic, the title sponsor, and one of the primary reasons that this event goes on every year. How are you, sir? It's great to see you again.
It's great to see you again, Matt.
First things first, Jets go David Bailey,
Yes.
2 overall. How we feeling today?
You know, this is the best time of Jets. We get Jets derangement syndrome at this time of year where we start thinking we're Super Bowl. We're at Super Bowl now, so I feel good after day 1 of the draft. I'll be a happy guy.
David Bailey, I mean, freak show pass rusher, you know?
Yeah.
You can't go wrong drafting an elite edge rusher. Jets did that. Saints, we like our guy too. Got a receiver from Arizona State, hoping it goes pretty well. So first of all, day 2, beautiful weather, which is always the fingers crossed, hold your breath, right?
Yeah.
How's it been going so far, a day and a half in?
It has been fantastic. The energy has been great. Our ambassadors have been out there, which we can talk about a little bit later. They've been hanging tough. The weather's been awesome. Food's been awesome. So energy all around. People are having a great time here in this awesome city.
You know, it's always so important as well, I think, for our audience and people in this community to hear from folks like you with Zurich to understand what this partnership means and why Zurich keeps coming back. So if I ask you, like, why, what does this mean for Zurich? Why you keep coming back? How do you and your team answer that?
Yeah, just first you think about the city of New Orleans, right? I think it's just a place where the community lifts each other up, right? People watch each other's backs. So you think about Katrina and how everybody else came together and how people, no matter what, stepped outside their zone to make sure that they took care of each other.
Yeah.
It is like synonymous with resilience. And so, for us from Zurich, we were the first major sports event to come back post-Katrina.
That's right.
Post-COVID, while we didn't hold the event, we still went through with our charitable contributions. And so, for us, it's not like a side benefit coming through it. It's really the point around how we can engage with such a community and a place like New Orleans, which just has such a heart and soul that aligns so well with the Zurich values.
And part of that too is I know that the Stronger Together brand is how you all brand there at Zurich. Maybe would you walk us through how that mindset for the company makes sense as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And so for us, when you think about the format of this is the only team event for the PGA Tour. So it's a really cool dynamic of how they pull it together. And so for us, like our business in underwriting, it's a team sport. You need underwriters, you need claims, you need risk engineering, you need actuaries and others, and bringing it all together. And you need folks that when you're down a little bit, it picks you back up, right? And that, you have people that are, a good rhythm between each other. And so, when we think about these players in this team event, like we think about that part around how you pick each other up when it matters most, that we're in there, long-lasting partnerships that, we just watch each other's back through. And I think that as well, and that Stronger Together and how we partner through with the communities as well, because that's such a big part of what we do here and why we're here.
People love numbers too.
Yeah.
Let's talk some numbers about specifically, I think, since Katrina in 2005 and the many different ways that Zurich and the Zurich Classic has helped children's charities.
Yeah, absolutely. So no, it's we all know through the stats, right? I mean, it's about $35 million of charitable donations since we've been part for a 2-decade partnership. It helps feed about 200,000 kids annually, about $700 million economic activity. So, these are numbers that get, cemented in through our head. But again, for us, it's really just about, how we can show that we're there for the long run, right? We're there to be make that meaningful, lasting impact in through the community, and where we can help kids and really do something that just makes a difference. We were at St. Michael's School today, which I know is near to dear cause for you as well, and we watched the kids do a musical Susical today, and I mean, there wasn't a dry eye in the house watching these kids go through that. It's been a school that we've been supporting for multiple decades, and when you see the impact firsthand, and what these amazing kids do, I mean, again, like I said, I had to pretend my allergies were bothering me because I was welling up myself, but it was incredible, Matt.
That's awesome. Whenever you're putting on an event like this, I'd imagine you get pulled in a lot of directions, right? the fans or the patrons get to come and like watch golf and maybe have an adult beverage and enjoy the day. Like you get pulled a lot of directions. Do you get to like steal away and watch a hole or two?
You get a little here and there, right? You find your way through. But this is all about that. It's the shared experience, right? I mean, you deal with a lot of folks, and there's business and then transactions. But like the most way that you break through the permafrost is usually through these shared experiences, right? And when you think about here, whether it's the golf, it's the food, it's the music, it's just the whole vibe of New Orleans. It's just the perfect setting to just deepen that relationship that extends that surface level part of it. So I honestly, I don't mind. I love it. People think I'm trying to run for mayor and others, but I just really enjoy and being in this type of city. It just makes it so much easier.
Oh man, this is a great. People say party city, but it's a great anything city.
It just is.
It is. But you all do have golf ambassadors at Zurich, right? That are playing this weekend. Yeah,
exactly, absolutely.
It's I know I have the list. Shane Lowry, Thigala, Ben Griffin, Billy Horschel's a Florida Gator.
Yeah.
I don't know if we like that Florida Gator and then Billy Horschel.
Don't hold it against.
But what's it been mean to be part of with those guys? See them out here as well.
They are fantastic ambassadors in for us, and for us, obviously, they're phenomenal professionals. But when you think through from a personal, it's always again getting into that deep personal side of things that makes it even better. You think through Shane, he's just got that authenticity and grit and just relatability aspect of it.
He definitely has that.
He does. We might see him at the turn taking down oysters and maybe drinking a beverage right now. You got Billy out there who's just got that leadership and that fire and that accountability. You got Ben, who was a mortgage broker. He had a tough time a couple years. Came out of the game as a mortgage broker, so just that resilience and hard-earned success. Sawhith has got that kind of creativity and joy and just really, you see that family aspect of him with his dad and others following him around. It's not just wearing the logos for those guys. They really embody the values of what we see for Zurich as an organization.
You can tell there's a lot of authenticity, and it's been my pleasure to get to every year when we come, we get to chat with you and some folks who represent Zurich so well. And I always like to ask for people who are familiarizing themselves with it. They know it's obviously the title sponsor of this, but what is next? Where is Zurich going next?
Yeah, so our whole part is about how we meet tomorrow prepared. And, that really is how we see ourselves through and how we can help people navigate uncertainty, emerging risk, innovation. We've got products like AI, mass timber, data center protections. And so we're just there to help people manage their future responsibly and thoughtfully. And that's what we are as an organization, and do it with communities and others that we can help make an impact in. So, Matt, this has been awesome, too. I always appreciate making the time.
John, it's our pleasure. Thank you so much. John Diaz with Zurich. It's our pleasure to be here at the Zurich Classic. Let me knock out a quick break, come back, and we'll wrap up hour number one. We will get, we'll do around the SEC, and also we're going to start to preview day 2 of the draft. We'll get you an update on LSU and Mississippi State as well. Stay with us here. It's AFR.
After further review.
Remember, if you're buying or selling your home, commercial or residential, call Darren James, get your home sold. Remember, it's agent225.com, agent225.com. That's where you can find Darren James's website. It's the most user-friendly website in real estate. agent225.com. Every home listed by every company all in one place. And maybe most importantly, though, that's how you'll get connected with Darren to start that process of selling your home. I told you an amazing story that there was a listener of the show, said he's listened for 11 years, was going to sell his home, hired a different realtor. Home was unsold for a year, called Darren James, the first person Darren had look at the home, bought it. Why waste time? Get your home sold fast, save time, save money, get results, and have an unbelievable experience with Darren James. Agent225.com, agent225.com for Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
All right, wrapping up hour number one, Friday edition of AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. We're here at the Zurich Classic, and thrilled to have you hanging out with us here on just a jam-packed day. We will get to around the SEC here in just a quick second. Just a few things kind of have to pivot. We're going to have Ross Jackson with us in 30 minutes. I'll get Ross's reaction to the Jordyn Tyson pick, but more so what I want to do with Ross is kind of get a bit of a preview of what we can expect day 2 for the New Orleans Saints. And also in about 15 minutes from right now, I do want to take some time and go deep dive into Mansour Delane, going 6 overall to the Chiefs, and what we might expect here in day 2. Nussmeier, Halsey on the board, very likely to hear their names called here today. I think that as we look at sort of projecting here in day 2, there's Jordan Reed over at ESPN has a mock draft where he's looked at, it wasn't Reed, forgive me, it was Matt Miller, who's got a rounds 2 and 3 mock draft. So I think the most interesting part of what happens at the start of a day is, remember, round 1 ended on Thursday night around 10 o'clock Central. We got roughly 19 hours till the draft resumes. And so over the course of those 19 hours, the team that's picking first, and in this case, it's the 49ers who have the 33rd pick that they have from the Jets. Like, they have the whole night to look at their board, to consider who they might want to draft, to field trade calls. And as a matter of fact, there was, forgive me, it was Tom Pelissero here Friday on the NFL Network, who said that the Saints are one of those teams who might be looking to make a move today.
Among other teams that are calling around not just the 33, but for other picks at the top of round 2 include the Dolphins, the Saints have made calls, the Browns, and the Jaguars, who of course did not have a pick on night 1. That had product of the Travis Hunter deal a year ago. Keep an eye on those teams.
Remember, the Saints did this a few years ago with Nick Saldiveri, the offensive lineman from Old Dominion, where they traded up at the front of day 3 and took Saldiveri, the offensive lineman from Old Dominion. They didn't want to wait, so they knew who was there on the board. They could allow things to settle. They had time to make a deal. So when you look at what's on the board for New Orleans after having taken a receiver, are you potentially looking at cornerback like maybe Jermon McCoy, who, again, that would be another injury question player, but maybe, but for his injury issues, could have been the best defensive back in this draft. So is that someone maybe that you'd be looking for at the top of round 2? Do you move up? Do you get aggressive to do something like that? It would be interesting. But Pelissero did also talk about who teams are discussing moving up for.
In terms of who they potentially could be trading up for, let's start with a couple of guys who were the last men in the green room last night. Caden McDonald, the Ohio State defensive tackle. Not a lot of defensive tackle movement in round 1. We did see a couple come off the board, but certainly Caden McDonald is somebody that is viewed within the league as a player likely to come off in the first, let's say, 5 to 10 picks of round 2. Colton Hood, the Tennessee cornerback, also in the green room last night. That was maybe the most surprising player that did not come off the board in round 1. Again, a position where there just weren't very many corners that came off the board. Hood is a potential target as high as number 33. His college teammate Jermon McCoy, a top 10 talent who did not go in round 1 because of concerns about his knee. People within the league, executives I've spoken to, do anticipate we hear McCoy's name called at some point today. Denzel Boston, Washington wide receiver, another potential move up target.
One other thing that's fascinating, I mentioned the mock draft from Matt Miller at ESPN. He's got Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, the safety from Toledo, as the first pick of round 2, going to the Niners. And at 34, the second pick of round 2, he's got the Arizona Cardinals taking Carson Beck, the quarterback from Miami. So one thing to keep an eye on there, who teams might be coveting here at the top of round 2. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com windows, door siding. They do shutters and shades. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy efficient replacement windows. We tell you about it all the time. When you have these energy efficient replacement windows installed, this is going to help reduce those costly air leaks, making your home more energy efficient. You know, when the triple digit temps are beaten down on your windows, this will make the energy efficient windows will keep your home cooler, meaning your AC doesn't have to work as hard, so to lower your energy bills, increase your home's resale value. So this is an investment into your home. So maybe you're looking at that tax refund. What do I do with it? Well, a great idea would be to invest it into your home with energy-efficient replacement windows from Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades. It's Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. All right, we are on remote, so Muse will take care of business here. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Arkansas has landed a late commitment for the class of 2026. It's offensive lineman Caden Bramlage. He announced the decision on a social media Thursday evening. 6'5", 285-pounder. Originally committed to Lamar, had offers from Oklahoma State and several other smaller schools, but now will go to Arkansas, where he projects as a guard.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
On Friday, Kentucky landed another commitment, this one from a tight end out of Lexington Christian Academy. 6'5", 235 pounds. It's Conrad Hart. Held offers from Eastern Kentucky, Western Kentucky, Toledo, Ohio, Miami of Ohio, and others. Three-star prospect in the class of 2027. Second tight end commit for Will Stein and the Wildcats. Now the 12th commitment for the 2027 cycle. They're on a bit of a roll up there in Lexington.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Some basketball portal news. The Bulldogs have landed Seton Hall transfer Taywon Simpkins from Seton Hall. He announced that decision on his social media. Averaged 9 points, 3 boards, and 2 assists per game. Where he really excelled was behind the arc, 37% from 3. He will head to Starkville.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
Tennessee basketball has landed a commitment from Braden Liu, a transfer from Kennesaw State. That decision announced on Friday. A 6'9" forward visited the Vols earlier in the week and now becomes the 6th member of their transfer portal class. Averaged 10-5 a year ago in 68 career games overall. Was named all-defensive team in Conference USA as a sophomore. He has blocked 50 shots. Some good rim protection there on Rocky Top.
Texas A&M!
And lastly, a high school basketball note here. Chase Richardson, a 4-star point guard in the class of 2027, has committed to Texas A&M. He confirmed that to Rivals. 6'1", chose the Aggies over Nebraska, Notre Dame, Purdue, and Virginia. 81st ranked prospect in the 2027 class. Number 20 ranked point guard and the number 4 player in Texas for the Rivals industry rankings. There you have it. That is around the SEC.
Presented by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. Name brand tires at wholesale prices. They keep you coming back year after year after year because they treat you like family. Look, nobody ever wants to buy tires, but we get it. Summer's almost here. Time you're planning that family vacation. Time to buy new tires before you hit the road. Make sure you go to Shawbills. And when you buy tires at Shawbills, you'll get a dozen benefits. It's the Charlie's dozen, a dozen benefits extended to the vehicles in your family when you buy tires at Shawbills. That's things like free tire rotations, free tire repairs, alignments, all that sort of stuff. It's at Shawbills, where they'll sell you the best tires on the road at the cheapest price, and they'll treat you like family. Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com, Shawbills. We keep you rolling. It is 3-2 in Starkville. Excuse me, it is 4-2 now in Starkville. The Bulldogs, after LSU put up a 3-spot in the top of the first, Mississippi State hit a 2-run bomb in the bottom of the first, a walk by Guidry, then a moonshot made it 3-2. But the Tigers now, after a clean second, have come back in the top of the third, and Omar Cerna led off the top of the third with a solo homer. So it's 4-2 LSU now, and this is really stunning. Look, say it all the time, and it's cliche, I know, but baseball is a funny game, man, and you're seeing this here because, you know, Valinkis is a guy who has been dominant this year. I mean, this is an LSU offense that a week ago couldn't get going against a team that came into the weekend at home against a team that came into the weekend 13th in the SEC in staff ERA. I mean, Valinkis has a sub-2 ERA. His ERA is 1.81. I mean, in 59 2/3, he's given up just 12 earned runs. Opponents are hitting 195 against him. I mean, he's got 83 strikeouts and 13 walks. I mean, this is a dude who mid-upper 90s lefty with incredible off-speed stuff that next year, praise the sophomore, next year projects as a, maybe the first left-handed arm, college left-handed arm off the board. So for LSU to come out firing the way they have on the road in Starkville is impressive, surprising, but encouraging. So a long way to go in this one. I mean, they're only again in the top of the third, but LSU with a 4-2 lead against Mississippi State. Again, the big story there is Kason Evans scratched from his start, and Gavin Guidry got the start instead. So we'll see if we can get word on why. I know Hunt's at the ballpark. I think he's on the call, but with Chris Blair. So we'll see if we can get word on why Evans was scratched, if we will share with you. But nonetheless, Tigers right now leading 4-2 in the third inning. Top three with one out after Serma homered, Aaron Beatty grounded out. So we'll keep you posted on what's going on there in Starkville. Okay, wrapping up hour number one. When we come back, Mansour Delane, 6 overall, what it means for, I think, for Lane Kiffin's Tigers to have another DB go 6 overall. We'll dive into that as we continue. Hour two's next on AFR.
After further review.
AFR is brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. We've got a busy weekend, man. We're talking about the Zurich Classic. We're talking about Jazz Fest for a lot of folks. LSU's on the road in Starkville. You got the NFL draft tonight and Saturday. There's a ton going on. A lot of you doing kids, games, t-ball, softball, baseball, whatever it may be. Look, if that's where you are right now and you need quick food options, Rouse's has got you covered. Grab and go, something for everybody in the family. And if you need to do your grocery shopping, they can help make this a simple process for you as well. Go to the app, download the Rouse's app, pick out your items on the app. Do it while you're at the ballpark with whatever. Swing on into one of the Rouse's. Their personal shop will pick up the stuff for you, bring it out to your car, saves you time. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home.